Okay, how's everybody doing today? My name is Kent, and you're looking at the Pacific Ocean here in Carlsbad, California. And I want to talk a little bit. Yesterday I made a video, about I quit my job, and I suggested that you should quit your job as well. And I think a lot of people misunderstand what I'm trying to say, because quitting a job doesn't mean you're not working or you don't work. I'm trying to distinguish between having a job and working. It's not the same thing. Having a job is working, but you can be working and not having a job. And I don't think anyone should have a job, because having a job means that you are working for somebody else and not for yourself. And I'm just suggesting that you should be working for yourself and not having a job, because having a job really never gets anybody anywhere. I've had a number of jobs in my lifetime, and I've never gotten ahead working at a job. Never, ever gotten ahead working at a job. So what it is if you're working, how do you make money? We are so financially illiterate in this country that people don't understand the difference between working and having a job. Everybody just thinks have a job, and it's just so much into our. Just like I said yesterday about Friday, it's Friday and everybody says, hey, it's a good day because everybody gets off because they don't have to work on the weekend, so it's a great day because it's Friday. And so we've just so made that such a part of the way we think. Friday is the day off of a job. When you get out of college, you get a job. When you go to college to get a job. Everybody, the whole world, the whole thing we do, everything around us just revolves about getting a job. So, and that's what I'm trying to say, tell people that's a bad way of looking at having financial independence, is by having a job. Financial independence means you're dependent on a job, which means you're never going to have financial independence, because no one's ever going to pay you what you're worth, and they're going to pay you only as little as they can pay you, because if they're paying you, they're going to try to make as much as they can by your labor, by your work. So don't have a job, and I suggest no one have a job. And that's kind of what this channel is becoming, kind of a channel about, hey, don't have a job. So if you don't have a job, what do you do? Well, how do you make money? How do you make a living? Well, the way you make money, the way you make a living is you invest yourself into something. You invest in something that makes money. So somebody left something in my comments yesterday about, hey, I bought a house 2 years ago, and now I'm doing really well, and everybody should not be lazy and do what I did. Well, the person invested in a house, and the house appreciated, and the house did much better than having a job. And that's what I'm talking about. Find things to invest in to where you can make more money than working at a job, because working at a job actually just takes all your time, and it takes your time, so you can't find those things that will get you ahead, will make you so you're financially independent. That's one of the reasons why I talk about cryptocurrencies, because if you don't have enough time, and there's few people in this country and this world understand cryptocurrencies very well. But if you're working at a job every day, all day long, and that's absorbing all your time and your mental energies, you will never sit down and understand how a cryptocurrency works, how Bitcoin works, how some of the alternative coins, altcoins work, Ethereum, some of those. So unless you understand those, you're never going to be able to invest in something like that to get ahead. So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say is don't have a job, because jobs are not a means of making a good life for yourself, and not a means of not being able to provide for yourself and your family in a way to where you can have some independence and have some freedom, like these people down here on the beach today. You got a lot of people on the beach today having a good time. They're out there surfing, they're in the waves, they're enjoying themselves. In fact, they've got some event going on down here a little bit. Looks like quite a few people down here. So yeah, we gotta rethink the situation. We gotta rethink it, and not think about job. Everything in hey, I gotta get a job. Hey, my parents tell me I gotta get a job. I'm in college. I need to get a degree so I can get a job. That's just the wrong way of thinking. In fact, it reminds me of when I was going to college, and I was getting ready to get out of school, and they had one of these job fairs they usually have at colleges. Worthless, waste of time. And this has been a long time ago. And I remember I interviewed for this job, and it was I think the name of the company was McLean. I'm not sure. They might not even be in business anymore. but they're like a food distributor. They were a national company, and they were looking for middle management people. And of course, I interviewed for the job, and I went through the formal interview. I'm sitting there. I had my suit and tie on, and I was wearing a ring on my finger. And somehow during the interview, I mean, I must have answered all the questions right and made a decent made a decent appearance. But at the end of the interview, the guy says, "Hey, I'm not going to hire you." And I said, "Well, thanks for letting me know ahead of time, so I don't have to wait and find out later." But he said, "I want to make a suggestion to you," because there was something I did, I guess, he didn't like. And I said, "Well, what I do?" And he goes, "Well, you know, when you were giving me answers," he said, "that your answers were good, but you kept fidgeting with your ring. So when I was kind of talking, you know, I was nervous. I was probably 21, 22, 23 years old. I was young, and I was just kind of probably fidgeting with my ring a little bit." Well, that irritated him. And that irritated him enough that he told me that's one of the reasons he didn't give me the job. He goes, "Well, I just want to let you know, next time you interview for a job, don't fidget, don't mess around with your ring." So this would have been a difference maker in my life. If I would have worked for that company or gotten a job at that company in my early 20s, I might have stayed with that company for the rest of my life. Who knows? The guy probably did me a huge favor by not hiring me, because I wouldn't have wanted to work for him anyway. If that's something that's simple as me just messing with my ring, twisting my ring while I was talking to him, was that much of a big irritation to him where I didn't get hired for the job, it probably wasn't going to be a fit for me anyway. But that's the kind of stuff people go through. I mean, you go to these job interviews, and you got somebody sitting there listening to you or asking you questions, and even some little response, maybe some little gesture, something that you do might interfere with or affect the way they think about you. I mean, it becomes that subjective. All of a sudden somebody says, "Oh, this guy's a little bit fidgety with his ring. He's not a good fit for our company." And this is the kind of things people do when they try to get jobs. They try to be hired, or try to get a job with some sort of company, get hired on as a job. So yeah, I think jobs are a bad idea. I would never recommend anybody to get a job. You need to think of a way to invest your time use your time to invest in something that will get you ahead. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about when I say don't have a job. Don't have a job because you have a job. You're wasting your time living somebody else's dream. The same thing as when you buy property or rent property. So when you rent somebody's property, you're making their mortgage payments. You're paying off their property. You're making equity in their piece of the world. And that's why I think it's the same thing as working for somebody, same thing as renting. You're just making somebody else's payment. So these are things, this is the financial literacy that we need to get so people can get financially independent. And this is getting to be a big deal right now, because we got a lot of people out there, and it's getting to be greater and greater and greater, that aren't going to be able to make it, that aren't going to be able to have a standard of living that we're accustomed to, where you can have nice things in life and be able to live a life like these people are doing right here on the beach right now. So yeah, that's all I mean when I talk about that. When I say don't have a job, I'm not saying don't work. I'm just saying don't have a job where you're investing yourself in things that aren't helping you as much as you should be helping yourself. And you're not being 100% devoted to yourself. You're being kind of, it's almost, to me, having a job is the easy way out. It's like, hey, I got a job. I don't have to think very hard. All I got to do is just show up at this job every day. And then the person that hires me, all the burden is on them. They got to take care of me. They got to make sure I've got enough money to live on, and so on and so forth. But that's kind of an easy way out. It's not like you're really taking responsibility for yourself and for what you need in order to have the things you'd like to have in life. So don't have a job. Don't get a job. And a job and a working aren't the same thing. They're two different things entirely. You can work like a dog and not have a job. And that's what I'm more or less trying to say is don't have a job, just work hard and do it for yourself. And that's the way you're going to get some independence in life, some freedom in life, and get ahead of the rat race, as they say. And as I said earlier, it's not getting easier, it's getting much, much harder, it's getting much more difficult. And there are people out there that just never want to have the responsibility of do something on their own. And like I said yesterday, I think those people will be subsidized by some sort of a program where they will get some help from the federal government, some financial help, maybe some sort of subsidy. Like I said yesterday with farmers getting subsidies, banks have been bailed out. Every other company, every other business, every other corporation, every other entity has been bailed out, including the government. That they're going to have to bail out the everyday ordinary worker that doesn't want to do something besides just have a job. But for the people that really care and people that are trying to get ahead, don't have a job, do something for yourself. And that's all I'm trying to say. So don't take offense to it. So don't think I'm trying to advocate people being lazy and not being somewhat, I don't want people to think that I'm saying, just hopefully just don't do anything. Hope somebody just steps in and takes care of you. I'm just saying, don't do something where it doesn't really pay off or doesn't, and it's getting, with a job right now, having jobs, most jobs, believe me, the 401k thing, that's not working out very well. Of course, Social Security is not working out very well. And, medical insurance, all that stuff is becoming harder and harder to get when you do have a job. So that's all I'm trying to say in these videos. So anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around. I'll let you go, and hopefully we come up with some more content tomorrow. And if you have any ideas on this, just please let me know. I'd kind of be interested in what you got to say. So anyway, I'll flip the camera around, say goodbye to you, and we'll talk again tomorrow. Appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. There you are. Adios.